Imagine a city that doesn't just sit on land, but breathes and travels across the deepest oceans. A floating fortress longer than 3 football fields and taller than an 18-story skyscraper. It weighs as much as 8,000 African elephants, yet it glides through the waves with the silence of a ghost. But here is the secret. This billion-dollar giant was a race against time. If the builders were late by just one single day, they would lose over $100,000. This is the impossible story of the MSC Meraviglia, the ship that changed the world of engineering forever.
Hello and welcome. If you are new here, welcome to Amazing 5.
Our journey begins not at sea, but in the quiet, high-tech offices of engineers who were asked to dream the impossible. When the shipping giant MSC decided to build the Meraviglia, they didn't just want a big boat. They wanted a masterpiece. They turned to the legendary Saint Nazaire shipyard in France with a contract that would make anyone's heart race. The budget, $1 billion. The deadline, exactly 4 years, not a day more. If they missed it, the penalty was a staggering €100,000 for every sunrise they were late. The pressure was on from the very first second. For 2 long years, no steel was touched. Instead, the battle was fought on computer screens. Designing a ship of this size is like solving a giant 3D puzzle where the pieces haven't even been invented yet. The engineers had to ensure this massive structure would be the most stable vessel ever built. They designed 150 different hull shapes, the bottom part of the ship, and tested them in giant water tanks using dummy models. They needed to know exactly how the ocean would react to 80,000 tons of steel. After years of simulations, they finally found the perfect shape. In 2015, the silence of the planning phase was replaced by the roar of machinery. The shipyard became a battlefield of sparks and sweat. 300,000 individual sheets of steel were ordered, but humans couldn't cut them with the precision needed. Even a mistake of 1 single millimeter could cause a catastrophe later. So, they brought in a hero of modern tech, a massive robotic arm. This robot worked day and night, cutting steel into 300,000 unique pieces, ensuring that every curve and every joint was perfect. As the body of the ship grew, the engineers turned their attention to the heart and the legs. To move this mountain of steel at 42 kilometers per hour, they built propellers as tall as a 2-story house. These weren't just big fans, they were engineering marvels designed to be completely silent. To power these and the entire city inside, they built a power station on board that produces 40 million watts of electricity. To put that in perspective, that's enough power to run 35,000 air conditioners at the same time. But a ship isn't just about engines, it's about the people inside. The Meraviglia was designed to hold 7,000 souls. Imagine the challenge of providing fresh water to a whole city in the middle of the salty ocean. The engineers installed massive desalination plants that turned seawater into fresh, drinkable water using the heat from the ship's own engines. It was the ultimate recycling system. Inside, they built a world of luxury, 2,500 suites. A full-sized shopping mall with a glowing LED ceiling, casinos, gyms, and even an F1 racing simulator. One of the biggest fears for any passenger is seasickness. To solve this, the Meraviglia was fitted with wings, huge stabilizers under the water that act like shock absorbers. Even when the waves outside are tall and angry, the people inside feel like they are sitting in a 5-star hotel on solid ground. Then came the final, most terrifying stage, the assembly. Because the ship was too big to build in one piece, it was constructed in massive modules. A giant crane, capable of lifting 5,000 tons, began the task of stacking these blocks on top of each other. It took 9 months of intense labor, a symphony of cranes and welders, to finally see the silhouette of the giant emerge. Finally, the day of reckoning arrived. The water was let into the dock, and for the first time, the Meraviglia felt the ocean beneath her. The engines roared to life. The lights of the Galleria Meraviglia ceiling flickered on, and the stabilizers spread their wings. The shipyard had done it. They delivered the masterpiece on time, avoiding the crushing penalties and setting a new standard for the world. Today, the MSC Meraviglia sails the obsidian depths of the world's oceans. For the lucky passengers who pay $600 a day to walk her decks, she is a world of magic and relaxation. But for the 450 engineers and thousands of workers who spent 6 million hours building her, She is a reminder that when human brilliance meets a ticking clock, we can make mountains float and cities fly across the sea.